Hey everyone, it's AJ. How we doing on this lovely outside UK time? I would say sunshine and bit of rain. Typical British weather for a Friday evening. Okay, so we're hoping that America's going to join us and we're going to bring in some sunshine with Ridge Banks joining us today. So welcome, Ridge.
Thank you. Welcome, man. Thank you. It's 90 degrees and hot in Nashville.
90 degrees and hot in Nashville. Jealous, just a little bit. Uh,
It's
you
too
know,
hot.
it's too hot, is it? Well, you can bring some sunshine over to UK when you come and join us in the UK one day. Okay.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, so Ridge, your name is Ridge Banks. You've sent a
Yeah.
bio over to me. Thank you very much for that. So let's tell our audience a little bit about yourself. So you are in Nashville, as you say. You were
I am.
In Michigan before?
I was. That's where I grew up, is in Michigan.
Ah,
I came out here about 5 years ago to Nashville.
okay.
And I was in so I started my musical career pretty early. My whole family was very musical. My grandfather was the most musical, and he would play about every instrument, including this electric guitar behind me. He would spike what little hair he had, and he would come out jamming on that when we were eating breakfast and stuff. So music was always a big part of it, and I always performed for my family and stuff too. But then life gets in the way, and I end up going to college and going to and being a healthcare salesperson. So I went all over the country, selling laboratory services, and really what I wanted to do is be in music all this time. So it finally came to a point where I couldn't fight it anymore. God was pushing me towards the stage, and so I gave up everything and came to Nashville about 5 years ago.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's delve a bit back further. Come on, let's go back to right at the beginning. Okay, so
All right.
your family was playing music for you. You were playing music for them.
Absolutely.
Your grandfather sounds a bit of a musician as well. It must have
Yeah.
been really fun in your household. So, how
Oh,
old
it
was
really
you when you
was. I
picked
got
up
an
your
uncle
first
that
guitar?
exactly. Well, my first instrument was a bass jug because my uncle had a bluegrass band.
Okay.
So I was in love with the bluegrass band. I loved playing all that. And I started picking at a really early age. So I like Jim Croce and John Denver and bluegrass type picking and stuff. So that was the first stuff I ever played and learned, and used to lock myself in my room trying to learn those picking patterns. It was a great meditative and healing thing for me to do when I was a kid.
So
But I
what's
was more of a closet person, actually. I mean, I performed for my family, but I also had some abuse growing up, so I had some image issues that stopped me from being on stage for a long time.
okay?
Even though I had a successful career and stuff, I was kind of running from the stage a little bit. God
Okay.
knew that, put me back on track. So I'm
Hmm.
happy that I'm on stage now. It's really what I wanted to do all my life. I remember even when I was a little kid, I would go to my neighbors and wear a big foam cowboy hat and play songs for them. And it was just where I came alive, really.
Fantastic. So was it your family members? What type of music did they play? What type of
My
musicians
uncle's
were
in a
they?
blue. My uncle was in a bluegrass band. My grandfather played probably the best instrument he played was like a clarinet and jazz. And then another uncle of mine is in Michigan, and he is a band director and can play every instrument they play. So, and I remember even early, they did like hearing tests, like when you were a kid and stuff. And I always had a good knack for those tests, knowing which one's higher, lower, all that. So I feel like music was definitely in my DNA for sure.
Fantastic. And a rich family history of music as well, which is what you put in your bio.
Yeah,
That's really great to
exactly.
see.
Yeah, exactly. My mother played piano, and although she didn't play as much as everybody else, she would never let me quit either. So I still have dyslexia, so it's harder for me to learn things. It takes me longer to learn songs, and when I hear music, you got to catch me with the melody before I can really focus and put enough energy to even know what you're saying sometimes. So in some
I get
ways,
you.
I feel that's a gift because I focus all on the music and there's no distraction from that.
I get
But
you. I get
in
you.
other ways, it's difficult. And so I couldn't really learn the typical way of music. I just wanted to learn songs. I wanted to do things. So my mom would always adjust that to make sure that I don't quit playing guitar, which I tried to do many times as I was a kid. So
You've got further than me. You know, I'm dyslexic myself, and for
yeah,
any of my listeners like who are listening, and then for any of your listeners, you know, any disability, you know, especially dyslexia, you know, for me being a dyslexic person, it hasn't stopped me being a musician. You know,
right.
I found my niche in music. You know, my vocals have always been my niche.
Mhm.
Recently started songwriting over the last few years, but I've never let my dyslexia stop me from being who I want to be as a person. And I think it's really important for people with learning difficulties or people with dyslexia to understand and know that actually you can be an artist, you can be on stage, you can release a record or a single, you know,
Yes.
and you can do that. There's always a way, and you find your way in music. Like for yourself, for me,
Hmm.
it is literally collaborating with artists. You know, as soon
Right.
as we work on a song together, we can write a song together, we can jam together. I often get my artists to say, "Hey, come on, you sing it first, and then I'll sing it." And then we make this amazing single together, you know,
Yeah,
and I feel just as proud as if I'd done it myself. So, you know, it's fantastic to hear like
mhm.
yourself, you know,
It's a lot of
you've
times
gone
it's
out and
better with more than one. You got both the magic of everybody, but you know, and dyslexia comes with a lot of anxiety,
it does.
performance anxiety with that too, because you know it takes so much. I mean, I play a harmonica on stage. I'm singing my own words. I'm picking my guitar, so I got like a real high level of difficulty. But when I put a new song out, it might take me 2 months of practicing that song before I really feel comfortable. I got to know it by heart in order to get up there under pressure and keep my focus. So I just know, I know it from school. I've always had to just learn in a different way. And I didn't know it at first that I was doing all this until someone said, you know, wow, this is a lot harder for you. They said I was dyslexic and I yelled at them for calling me names. But
Mm-hmm.
then after I learned about dyslexia, I was like, oh man, this is why I can't remember everybody's name. I'm not just a jerk. I can't remember unless I write something down. This is why I couldn't like watch any type of sci-fi movie. They'd make up a word. My mind would just go crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what did they just say? And then I would miss the next 2 or 3 sentences. So now every time I watch TV, I've got the words at the bottom, and all those shows are cool. So like, and as you get to know what your issues are, and you can work around some of them, and then you get less scared on stage. And really, one of the last songs that I released with my buddies out in the UK was One Note at a Time, and I really feel like I've healed one note at a time here. And I've watched other artists and musicians do that in Nashville, and it is really beautiful to see somebody after 2 or 3 months you haven't seen them out, and then you see him and go, whoa, this guy's really becoming authentic, and
Definitely.
he's where he's supposed to be, you
Definitely. And
know?
listening to your music over today has been absolutely, I've really enjoyed listening to your music. It's been absolutely lovely to hear. And, you know, sharing sort of your difficulties with dyslexia and sort of, you know, actually, that doesn't stop you. You know, it doesn't
No,
stop me being a musician. You're sitting there, you're performing to different crowds, you're performing yourself. You know, you're not going to let it stop you. You're going to let it be part of you. And I'm
that's
passionate about
right.
that. That's thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And
So
when you do learn something as a dyslexic, you know it.
you do.
You like know it inside and out and understand it. So there can be a real benefit if you just know you got to put more work into it, you know, to do that.
Definitely fantastic. So, like our tips of the show right at the end, you know what? We've covered that. We can give other people some tips at the end, but do you know what? Actually, if you've
Yeah.
anyone got any questions in relation to music and how to write music and getting into the music scene, even with a difficulty like dyslexia, you know, we've got two people,
Mhm.
myself and Ridge, who can give you some help, you know, and just show you that it can be possible. Your dreams can be there for you. Okay, if you put some
Right.
hard work into it, everything's there for you. Okay, so
It is.
Ridge, you've got a single out that's been released this year. You've told me about
Yes.
working in the UK. Let's go for the single first. Tell me a bit about the single. What's out at the moment?
Well, at the moment right now, we just released a single. I just released a single called "Lovin' All Over You," and it's a duet, something a little outside the box for me, which is what's great about collaboration, right?
Yeah.
You really do something that you wouldn't maybe do on your own. So this is a song that was written actually by my fiance,
Okay.
Sherry Carmody. We're getting married in a week.
Oh wow! Congratulations for that.
Yeah, man. So I'm very excited about that. We're going up to Wisconsin to do that. And this is a love song that we wrote. And Nikki Evans out there is just an amazing vocalist. She's been on tour with the Blood Brothers. She's been, the lead there, and she's also on the X Factor a few times. Her voice is just amazing. I'm just so grateful that she wants to sing a song with us.
Nick showed me the video. If anyone in my community or your community wants to find out, we can send links, and I might put that on your bio because
Absolutely.
it's a brilliant. It was X Factor 2009, was it?
I think it was 2007 maybe.
2007,
somewhere around there. It's just been great. It's been great because it really started last year when Nick came out from the UK to Nashville to hear me play, and we got together, and everything just clicked. He's just like one of the greatest guys, my new best friend for sure. And he said, "Man, why don't you put your voice down and your guitar and send it to me in the UK?" It turns out that our studios use the same software, so it was just so simple. I'm working with Hidden Creek out here and Kevin Grenier, and he's working with Deadline Radio or Deadline Studios, and that's Adam Alice out there. So these guys have been communicating, and we've been making the most beautiful music together. Doesn't matter that we're across the pond. We check our pride at the door, and we just do it through love and stuff. And so it's been a wonderful experience working with those guys, and the goal is to get out to the UK this summer. So we're starting to plan some festivals and maybe a small tour there. I haven't been there before, and I've always wanted to go there.
You're always welcome to come and join us in the sunny signs of Torbay.
It's gonna be really, I'll come and join you in person when I get out there.
That'd be great. It'd be great to see you. We
got such an all-star cast out there. Yeah, on this last, we even have the Leicester University Orchestra playing on a couple of the members. Dr. Elaine Wright and Paul Jenkins, right? Yeah, Paul Jenkins. They're both playing on it. So Nick is bringing out these incredible musicians out of the woodwork everywhere there in the UK that want to be involved. So Sean Clutterham is a great harmonica player. We got.
I think we need to have a new name for Nick. I think we should call Nick Aladdin.
Yeah, right.
He seems to come up with all these things, so I will probably be speaking to Nick after this. But no, fantastic. So,
and he's such a good dude. So it's just been awesome.
This is like a homage to Nick. This whole podcast a homage to Nick.
That's right. Oh yeah, I brought up. So Alex Milligan is playing guitar on this for us, and Mark Haynes is playing drums, and so it's really awesome. We got like a whole group. So when I first started here in Nashville, COVID hit. And actually something that really positive happened for COVID for me was that a lot of the musicians here that were so tied up and touring everywhere didn't have anything to do. So a group of us buddies got together and formed the Wall of Sound. Okay. So that's my band that's here. And we've extended the Wall of Sound to the UK. So really the Wall of Sound has just become a collective of everybody that's playing all the music there. So it's just awesome. It's just
that was how
kind of a dream come true.
That was how One Life come about. So One Life started when COVID was out. My first single, 9,000 Miles, which was for the nurses of Great Britain. And I did exactly the same. We were stuck in a room. I couldn't reach out to anybody. I hadn't written music for a long while. A friend of mine was asking me, about charity ideas and things like that. And I reached out to musicians at the time and said, you know what, actually, to get me through COVID, help me, because I'd love to do a song for the nurses. This is my way of giving back to them who are helping us through such a difficult time. And actually from there, I think it has almost grown the music community to continue doing this in the same way. You know, I've seen so much
Mhm.
more collaboration with the RSSA, with different music groups, that actually, however far away, we've got now the capacity to actually play music with each other and make some amazing tracks without actually physically being in the same room or the same studio.
Right.
So, you know, that's my
Pretty
tip.
powerful.
It is very powerful. And, you know, that's my tip for everyone as well who's listening. You know, at the end of the day, you can still make music. You don't have to be in a studio. You don't have to be spending thousands of pounds. You can meet up with some most
Right.
amazing stars and be collaborating with them. Don't be scared to reach out, you know.
It's true.
So fantastic. So that's your single done. Where are we going in 10 years' time? I've done this with another artist the other day.
Oh yeah.
Where are
Well,
we going to
10
be
years
going? Where are
time.
we going?
10-year time, we're going all over the world. I just want to travel and see all the parts of the world that I haven't seen. I want to spread my message that way. Work with awesome people, have them on stage with me, and truthfully, there's another side that I think will come together of a more outreach, healing side. I'm starting to write a lot more song. You know, there's a lot of reasons to write a song, and sometimes, especially if you're struggling, that's probably the easiest way to help and heal is to work on those songs. But at some point when the healing is there, I don't know, I want to give more. And so I want the songs to mean something a little bit more. And that's something I would always advise anybody that wants to actually become an artist, which is a little different than a musician here. But what is really your message? What is it that you have to say and tell the world? Not to steal that from The Star Is Born, but seriously, that hit me very hard when I thought that, because that really makes a difference here in Nashville and anywhere. What are you really singing about, and what are you really trying to, you know, say? So in 10 years, I would like to actually have some type of healing outreach where we're actually working with people to write songs in the name of healing. So we do that with some of the veterans here in Nashville, where they'll tell us our story. And when they hear their words come out in a song, man, it's just healing and powerful. And there's a lot of things about my past and healing that I've gotten over, not just dyslexia, but there's a lot of walls really that people, I'd like to help them get over if they could. There's lots of triggers in my songs. And if somebody comes to me and has a, you know, starts telling me a story about something that happened to them, especially if I've never told anybody else, that's really what I'm doing this for. That is, even for one person, that would be my biggest accomplishment.
Good.
I can't, you know, so so in 10 years, I just see this growing, the love of it to grow and the healing part of it to grow, and maybe focus a little bit more on the healing side of things.
Fantastic, great to hear. I've got one of my artists in the UK who I've just interviewed. If you look him up on my YouTube channel called Mark Ellis, he's just out at the moment with a group of children with additional needs, and I think he said mental health, who he's in Scotland in the UK, and he's been employed as a songwriter with them at the moment. So he's out doing a 2-week project with them. So, you know, I think music is best when it comes from the heart. It's, you know, when you've got a story to tell, when you've got something that is really hooking at your mind at the time, get it out on a piece of paper, you know, because that's when the best music's written.
I might even start doing shows where I'm doing basically motivational musician, where maybe I'm even talking more than I'm singing, and helping with the healing of those types of things. So that's another kind of avenue that I'm working towards, where you can work into, you know, I did that out in Salt Lake.
How'd you find all this time and get married? That's the big question.
Well, my girl Sherry, she's a writer as well, and she plays out with me. So she sings with me, and she's an incredible writer. So and a great singer too. So here in Nashville, we have our own show, Ridge and Friends, where we invite a lot of awesome songwriter friends of ours, and we do that on a regular basis at the Aloft Hotel. And then, of course, here in Nashville, you can play every night somewhere if you want. You can play your own songs, and that's what makes it so unique. So if you're really into being an artist and you really want to see if your songs cut the mustard And if you can handle being on the stage or at least work on that, Nashville is a great place to be.
Fantastic.
I love this because we all help each other.
Brilliant.
We all, we're all in this together. So it might be competitive only in your own mind because there's so many great musicians.
I'm just looking in my drawer for my savings account. I'm just starting to save now. I'm going to put a piggy bank together and put Nashville.
Come out, yeah.
Like the old films where they chuck a dart. I'm chucking a dart at Nashville and I'm coming out. So I'm going to put my pennies here. Okay, so I'm going to get right. That's it. I'm coming over to Nashville and like
show you around.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Hey,
it's like one of the best towns. And you know what I like about it so much is,
go for it.
I don't know the way it is in your country, but in a lot of this part of this country, guys don't share their heart very often. It's kind of like in our culture, it's almost shows weakness or something. It's not true. It's not the way I feel. And everybody here is writing about, every part of their life. So there's no real hiding your heart. So I actually have relationships here with guys that are really awesome. Good. Because I know them. Good. And that's why they call this place the city of bro love.
I'm hearing you. I'm feeling it. I'm hearing you. Do you know what? The one thing I haven't got out of you talk too much, Rich. I need to get the juicy gossip, okay? We have only got that you're getting married next week. That's not enough for our listeners.
It's not enough, huh?
No! Come on, give us something that we really don't know of you. What do you do away from music? There must be something that you do away from music.
Well, I grew up as a wrestler, and I coached wrestling. I coached wrestling for about 20 years after I graduated from college wrestling. Okay. So I was a top maybe 10 ranked wrestler in the country, and then and I do all kinds of crazy stuff like whitewater kayaking is one of my, probably people don't know that, and and bonsai trees.
Oh wow!
So I got this little collection of bonsai trees that are really cool. One of them is like 300 years old.
Oh wow! Fantastic.
And so so those are hobbies of mine for sure. I got a lot of hobbies.
So come on. I'm getting back to the wrestling now. Do we have a wrestling name?
Well, no. I think Rich Banks covers it. I think that's good too. Yeah, exactly. And I used to work with the MMA guys when teaching them wrestling side of things. They would teach me all those other crazy things. And back when it was almost like I don't know, a lot different than it is now when everyone just fought all at one time in one day, Cool. But my fighting days are over.
Your fighting days are you've seriously got enough going on. The music projects you've got going on.
I can't believe that I'm this mellow guy now because I was a terror when I wrestled, that's for sure.
Fantastic. We can wrestle with your music and you can wrestle with your partner when you go, with the wedding and everything. And that's congratulations for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be up in northern Wisconsin. That's where she grew up.
Wow. Fantastic.
So it should be pretty cool.
It's going to be pretty cool.
We're going to be fishing. We're going to be fishing on a lake.
So fishing is the love then. You love fishing?
Yeah. Sherry loves fishing. That's what she wanted to do. So I said, all right, well, then let's get a place on the lake, and that's where we'll hang out after we get married.
Fantastic.
And then we're going to have a big party here in Nashville in the fall sometime.
And everybody's going to be bringing a guitar?
Oh, man. Yeah, probably. I mean, like that. You always bring your guitar unless you want to play someone else's in Nashville, no matter where you go.
Fantastic. Brilliant. So, we've talked a lot. Thank you so much for joining us on In the Spotlight with AJ. We've nearly come to the end of the show. There was a couple more questions I really wanted to ask you from your bio. One, really, I just want to tell our audience, we gave our audience lots of top tips for being a musician. But in terms of the style of music and the type of music you play when you're out on stage, if I was to come to your show tomorrow, what sort of music am I going to hear? Because I'm going to put some of that on the slides after this interview today. But what am I going to hear? What's
you're going to hear you're going to hear 25 to 30 original songs that I play all over town. And then I play a few covers here and there left over, some of the songs that like really formed my music growing up, like Jim Croce and John Denver and stuff like that. I mentioned some blues songs, one-man band, all kinds of, rockin' 80s songs, because I like to, if I'm going to sing a cover song, I'd like everybody to know it and sing along with it maybe or
Sing
something.
along and
So,
get up and
yeah,
get up and
but for
party
the
with you.
most part, but for the most part, I'm playing my music, and at any time I can have different people. I normally have a lead guitar player with me all the time. Sometimes I'll have drums. Sometimes I'll have guys that sing backup with me. Sometimes, like we did last night, we had like 2 or 3 different guitar players all playing at the same time. So it was that was a blast too. And then Sherry's singing with me, not just backup, but she's singing her own songs, which are incredible too. So normally if we have a show that's 3 hours, I don't feel like anybody wants to hear somebody for that long. So I'll always bring some friends along and make it a show. It's really what I'm about.
Sounds amazing. I tell you what, when I pop over to Nashville after this piggy bank gets a bit bigger, I'll check you out. Okay. So do you know what?
Awesome.
It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining AJ on the spotlight.
I really appreciate it.
If there's any other tips quickly that you can give our people to start out, just let's finish the show off with, your top 3 tips for me starting up as a new musician.
Get a focus, know exactly what you want to do, and build a brand around that would be probably the second, because you can do all that from everywhere. I've had to do it online. It's way outside of my comfort zone. I put on a whole bunch of hats. Most of them don't fit, but you still got to do it. And you got to build that type of stuff. So you can write a song and you can release it and it will be heard by like 20 people. There's so much more to it than that. So there's a whole business side of this that it's really taken me 3 or 4 years here to learn, but it can be learned and you can do it the right way. And then the last thing I would say is open your horizons a little bit. People that come here have a set, even I did, have a set way in how you're going to do something, or that attitude of wait till they hear me. Yeah, then you're going to break all the rules. And it just doesn't happen like that. No. So the faster you can get rid of those delusions and really figure out, what your path is and what you want to do, and whether you really want to put the work into this, because this is different. It's difficult. It's not only difficult, but it's difficult to make money and do this too, especially if you want to sing your own songs. So there's a lot of work behind it, but it's a fun journey. If that's what you want to do.
It's a fun journey. It's a brilliant journey. And it's one I'll never stop doing. I've always done it since a wee little age, and I'm still doing it now, and I'll never ever stop.
Yeah, exactly. Rich, I'm really just starting to.
I know you are just starting. I'll tell you what, Rich, if this call could last a lot longer, I'm sure there's lots more that we could get from you. But I'm sure I could get lots from Nick as well after this call today. So thank you so much for joining us all the way from the USA. So
yeah, thank you, brother.
AJ signing off, saying thank you very much. I'll give you a bit of a round of applause from our listeners, and we will see you soon. And we get this video out as soon as we can. Take good care of yourself, and thanks for sharing your story.
All right, man.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.